Yo, what is up everybody, it's your boy Persian here, bringing you another video, and hopefully you guys are all having a good day so far. Today I wanted to make a little video on how to make a certain amount of power, because a lot of people do text me on how to make certain numbers, and hopefully this video can help to, make those numbers. Also, sorry if you guys can't really hear me that well. If it's that bad, I probably won't post this video, but if you're seeing it, that means I posted it. I'm trying something a little different. I have a suction cup, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, something holding up my phone to record. So hopefully you guys like the little POV drive, I guess you could call it. That's the way we're gonna do this video today. So a little drive while we speak, I guess. All right guys, so in order to make 500 wheel, you're gonna need to put some money into this. It will get expensive because being fast is not cheap, guys, and that's something you're just gonna have to accept, So let's start with the first performance mod you're gonna need, and this one is very, very important. I recommend it to anybody that owns a VR car. That's gonna be a heat exchanger. So the reason you guys want a heat exchanger, not only for the power gain, but these cars also run kind of hot. One way we avoid that is through a heat exchanger. Yeah, heat exchanger is number one. There's a few companies you could get these from. One of the biggest one is AMS. That's what I'm running. They have, I think, two kinds, which is one that's like about $850, and other one's about $1,200 after taxes and everything. Z1 actually has one as well. I think that one goes for around $550. I haven't really looked into it, but that's probably the range you're gonna pay for the heat exchangers. So yeah, guys, for your first performance mod, I recommend a heat exchanger. You're looking at about $500 to about $1,200 in those parts. The heat exchanger is not cheap, but it's one of the most important things for these cars. All right, guys, so now we're gonna go to number two. You're gonna wanna get a catback, and preferably you want a 3-inch exhaust. So for the exhaust, it's really up to you how you like your car. If you like it loud, if you like it quiet, if you like a deep noise, if you like a more raspy noise, it's really up to you. I could possibly make some videos later down the road on exhaust. The exhaust I would recommend is probably the MB-RP exhaust. From what I've seen, it sounded really good. I mean, it's loud, but it's not like obnoxious. It sounds good, it's deep. Everything about it is pretty nice. So I would recommend the MB-RP. But if you're wanting to go, big boy exhaust, I believe there's one called an ARC exhaust, and that one goes for around $2,500. Really up to you guys. You're looking anywhere from $1,000 to about $2,500 on these exhausts. So whatever fits you, go for that. The reason you want to get a catback is going to relieve a lot of back pressure, and you're probably going to see a lot more numbers with all that restriction gone. So I do recommend an exhaust, preferably 3-inch. All right, guys. So for number three, we're going to go ahead and hit the intakes. Intakes, they're not crazy important, but a lot of people do intakes. You'll see a little bit of gain from them. Sometimes you won't see any gain, but it really depends on how much you're willing to spend on these intakes. The two that I would recommend that I know of are AMS and Boosted. So Boost is a small company. They do make some intakes. They recently released some 3-inch ones, and really, if you're looking to make that power, I would recommend a 3-inch, but nothing wrong with the other ones either. But really, any intake should work. AMS makes some really good ones for about $540 after taxes and shipping. So I would say those, but really it's up to you. There's a few ones out there you guys could look. So yes, I would recommend some intakes. You'll get some power from there. And now let's move on to number four. All right, guys, so for the fourth part, you're gonna want some downpipes. Now, a lot of people want lowers, a lot of people want full downpipes. Really, if you want the full amount of gain, you're gonna get full downpipes. Lowers are still kind of restrictive because you still have the upper cats, and those do restrict a lot of power. So I do recommend getting full downpipes, catted or catless. It's up to you. The ones I got on my car are the AMS catless downpipe, and they ran me about like $800. But if you're looking to get catted, you're probably gonna spend around $2,000. They are a little expensive, but hey, it's up to you. Whatever you want to go. I think there is a little bit of less gain from the catted ones though. But if you go catted, it's also healthier for the turbos and just healthier for the environment. Catless, it does start to smell a little bit, and you will see some smoke in the back. So now that we got those simple bolt-ons, we're gonna go to fueling now. So for fueling, you're very limited on power with 93. So you're gonna eventually have to move on to another type of fuel, which is like 85, E30. 93, you're pretty limited. power. So you will have to switch fuels to another like form of ethanol, and for that you're gonna need a high pressure fuel pump. This one's gonna run you about, I think, $1,000 to $1,600 maybe. If you're not looking to make that crazy power, which this video is based on 500 horsepower, you're probably gonna just go stage 1, nothing crazy. You don't really need a stage 2 if you're not looking to make crazy power, but if you're looking to make 500, I would recommend the stage 1 high pressure fuel pump from AMS. And there's also some other companies that do make fuel pumps, but I recommend AMS because that's what I've seen and it never fails. Alright, so now that you guys got your high pressure fuel pump, you want to get a low pressure fuel pump. Now the low pressure fuel pump is going to run you about, I believe it's about $500. I don't exactly remember, but a low pressure fuel pump is highly recommended. I'm not too positive on the pricing of it, but I'll post a little picture of how much I pay for mine. And then I'm sure there's some others on the market that you could go for, but I recommend the AMS ones. Now that you have your high pressure fuel pump, your low pressure fuel pump, you're gonna want to get a flex fuel kit. This flex fuel kit is gonna help you run a different kind of ethanol in your car, because like I said, 93 is very limited on power, and you won't make that 500 mark. So with the flex fuel kit, it's gonna help you mix content of fuel, such as E85 mixed with like 93. With that flex fuel kit, you'll see how much to mix in. There's like an app with it. With that app, it's going to show you how to make your E30 or E50. So that's definitely necessary to make this power. If you don't do fueling, you will not make 500 wheel. So yes, guys, make sure you get that flex fuel kit. I believe it's like $500, maybe a little more. Alright guys, and so for your last part, you're going to want to do injectors. So you guys aren't going for crazy high horsepower, so I would recommend the stage 1 injectors from AMS. I'm sure there's some other injectors you could get. Just like I said, the safe route for me is AMS. It's really up to you guys on your budget. This is gonna help make sure you get enough fuel. So now with all those bolt-ons, you're gonna need a tune. So a lot of people think just throwing on bolt-ons, no tune, you're making 500 wheel. No. So you're gonna need that tune. There's a few tuners you can go to, like AMS, there's Race Blocks, there's Sonic Tune. JB4, I'm not too positive on. I think that's more like an ECU tune. I've never really messed with JB4. I'm not too positive on your tuning prices. It really depends on the tuners. Usually when you go ethanol, it's going to cost a little more from a basic tune. With a basic tune on your simple bolt-ons without fueling, you're looking at about $1,800 just with the simple bolt-ons. So now that you're throwing fueling in there, it's going to jump up a little more. I'm not too positive how much, but that's with the raised box. So it's probably going to come out to a little over $2,000 to get that dialed in. Alright guys, so those are the simple bolt-ons you're probably going to need to make about 500 wheel horsepower, maybe 540. The turbos really max out around that 500 mark. It also depends on your turbo's health and your engine's health. If those aren't doing too good, you're probably not going to make as much as you should. I do recommend checking your compression on your engine and just making sure your turbos aren't leaking no oil. Because once it's leaking oil, yeah, those turbos are pretty much done. Alright guys, so this pretty much wraps it up for this video on how to make 500 wheel, maybe a little over. If you did like the video, please leave a like. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know this was a question I got a lot through Instagram on how to make this kind of power. So hopefully this video helps you guys out with that. I'll make another video on how to make around 600, 700 plus. But for now, this pretty much sums it up for your goal. Hopefully this video helped. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.